What's up with it? You know what time it is. Your boy Pushman Mitch, host of the No Fluff Podcast. Peep this real quick. I got a real crazy episode that's going to come through. If you watch the whole entire episode, at some point inside here, I'm giving away a $500 cash app. If you are somehow lucky enough to get that number and text it and be the one who's get chosen, I'm going to give you a $500 cash app just for watching the whole episode. So make sure you stay tuned. You never know where I'm going to drop the text number and the clue word. So make sure you follow up. But right now, it's time for you to subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed to us, subscribe right now. This episode could potentially change your life. I got a great guest today on No Fluff the Podcast. I got one of my mentees and now my mentors. Now he teaching me stuff. He done taught me some stuff about the rental car game that I didn't even know. So now I want y'all to really be able to give a warm welcome to my brother, CEO Moe. No chill. What's up, bro? Thanks for coming to the show.
What's going on? Thank you, man. Thank you for a warm welcome. You know, I appreciate you as always, just like when we first started.
Yeah, you know? Bro. So let's talk about it, bro. It's been a little second since we talked. So let's talk a little bit, bro. So what's been going on with you? First of all, introduce yourself to them so everybody should know how to get in contact with you and what you got going on.
For sure. What's going on, guys? My name is Mo, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I've been in the rental car industry for a little over 2 years. To be exact, I actually started January of 2021. Early February, I purchased my first vehicle, which was a 2013 Nissan Altima. And up to date right now, close to 80 vehicles, all purchased outright. So,
ooh, 80 vehicles?
Yes, sir.
How much money does a person who has 8 videos make? I mean, eight vehicles. How much do you make?
We just hit the number 80. So right now, we're averaging about 20 to close to 25K a week.
25K a week. I know people who don't make 25K a year, bro. These are bold claims here. He's a mentee of mine, so I know I've already confirmed his numbers. That's why he's on the podcast. But not only that, but just because of who the person you are, though. So I remember, we're going to talk about some of these stories. I remember when I met Mo, he signed up for my class, of course. He was one of the first executors. He got in the program. He took it. He was very, very serious about it. He told me when he got that Nissan Altima, he showed me that it got booked for like 80 days. Like, that was like, was it like 60 days or 80 days?
It was 80 days.
It was 80 days. So it's like he started from there, and now I watched him consistently. He always keeps me updated. He's like, yo, Mitch, I just got another car. I just got 2 more. Hey, wait, when I just came back, I got another one. So now every other day he's getting these cars cash, and he does the play so good. We do the 30 for 30 play, and he literally does it so good. Now he done got it down to a science. Now he don't have no reason not to keep buying cars. So you at 80, and you make it 25K a week. Bro, can I hold 50 cents? Like,
you know, you can hold whatever you want, man.
Yo, this man is really doing his thing. So let's talk about this, though. So how does a person like you, like, what was your background before you even got into the rental car game? How does that transition go so smoothly for you?
All right, so for the people that know me, they know that I've been a car guy pretty much forever. I've been working on cars since my first job as a mechanic was in 2006. A family friend opened a mechanic shop. I was still in high school, and then he just needed some help. So I was the first person that got hired with him, help him set everything up, you know what I mean? So that's when I learned how to, you know, start doing brakes and just understanding the basic stuff about cars, right?
Gotcha.
And then in 2008, I graduated school in 2007. That's when I graduated high school. And in 2008, that's when I got my first real job, I should say, working at an oil change shop. Because at the time, when I was working with the family friend guy, he was paying me cash under the table. So my first real job was, you know, working at it was actually Jiffy Lube.
Got you.
So the oil change shops.
Got you.
So while doing that, I was still, you know, a car guy. I like to mess with cars, buying them, flipping them. So that's just my background. So just been working on cars, and fast forward, started working at a dealership in 2013. Was working as a lube tech at first, then became a service technician, then became an advisor, and from there just kind of, yeah. Got you.
Okay, so you know about cars already before you got in the game.
Oh, yeah.
That gave you a little leg up, man. Because
sure.
A lot of people, like, they feel like they got to be experts in the game to really get in the rental car game. And I be telling them they don't have to, but it can only help, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So, okay, what was the biggest thing that you've seen that your background, knowing about cars, helped you when it came to the rental car game?
When it comes to buying cars.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to buying cars, like for example, I already know what to look for while test driving a vehicle. The average person will go buy a car without even knowing what they're buying. Me, while driving, I could already pinpoint everything that is wrong with the vehicle, if there's anything wrong. And that's what I'm going to use to basically get you to lower your price onto how much I want you to spend. Yeah, how much I want to spend actually.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is what I want to ask you. So you let's just cut to the cheese. I know what they want to know. I know what y'all here for. Y'all want to know how this man is making 25K a week. If y'all can get 1% of that, that would probably help the average person, right?
Oh, for sure.
They could get 1% of 25K a week. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, for sure.
So what we want to do is we want you to, what do you know, bro? I want to know what you know. So teach my audience how to do what you've been doing. Let's just go. You got the floor.
Cool, absolutely. So yes, so personally, okay, the way I do is when it comes to getting, doing this whole rental car business anyways, a lot of people, they feel like you have to have brand new cars, right? That's the first thing that I just want to explain. Like, you don't have to have new cars. Most people will feel like, oh, in order to get in, when they think about rental car business period, I have to go get a brand new car. You do not. Most of my vehicles are 2013s. In fact, I've got some that are 2010s. I know, literally 2010s, and those are like my lower class vehicles. I like to call them lower class because I've kind of upgraded my prices, I should say. When I first started renting cars, I started on Hire Car. If you guys never heard of it, which I'm pretty sure you have if you've been following this guy. Hire Car is a website that you can basically list your vehicles on, and people that are going to use it to work with will pretty much book it, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people will go on there to book your vehicle and work with it. And the cool thing about Hire Car is it doesn't have like a mileage limit, just like Turo does, So Hire Car, you can put a vehicle on there that's got 200,000 miles. So then that means you can go buy a really cheap car, as long as it is a 2010 and up. You can actually list it on Hire Car and just get busy, right? So my first vehicle, I put it on Hire Car. It was a 2013 Nissan Altima, and literally after an hour posting it on there, it just got booked. I'm like, whoa. We're onto something now. I'm like, this guy, what he's teaching is real. So after that, a week later, I bought my second car because now I'm like, yo, this works. We really gotta keep going now. It's just a numbers game, So I bought my second vehicle, which was a 2012 Honda Civic. I still have that car to this day. 2012 Honda Civic. The first renter that books it stays in the car for 2 years. 2 years. I was surprised myself.
Okay.
It was kind of one of those, like, you're so used to getting paid every Friday from this car that it's kind of like you forget that you have it, but not really. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So anyhow, back to how I get these vehicles. All of my vehicles, actually 90% of them are purchased off a Facebook Marketplace. You know what I mean? Marketplace is where I literally purchase most of my vehicles. I'll go on Marketplace and put a price point on how much I'm looking to spend. When I first started, my maximum pricing was $6,000. Sometimes I'd go a little over it, but most of the time I just try to stay at 6 max. You know what I mean? And I'm targeting vehicles like Ford Fusions. If you go on my page, that's what you'll see. Most of my cars in my fleet are Ford Fusions. I like to focus on the 2013 and up models because they look newer and they kept that same pretty body style from all the way till when they stopped making them, which I believe is 2021 or 2022. Okay. And renters love those vehicles. They're super comfortable. They're pretty up to date, and it's pretty much got all the latest technologies, right? And the cool thing about those cars is they're super reliable. They can pretty much take a lot of beating and take a lot of miles. A couple of my highest mileage ones got about 290,000 miles and still running. Yeah.
Okay. So how are you renting them? You're not doing Hire Car no more, are you? What are you doing?
So now I'm doing strictly private rentals.
Okay. So let's tell them how they can do some private rentals.
Yeah. So strictly private rental is what I do, and I do it in a way where, first of all, you got to make sure you have the right insurance in order to do that. You don't want to just, I don't recommend using your personal insurance to do private rental with the way I'm doing it with the economies. If you were talking about higher end, that's totally different because at that point, the renter has to have their own end. That's a whole nother subject. We're not here for that. We're talking about the economies, which is what I mostly do. Okay. So you gotta have commercial insurance, and there's a company out there that's called Lula. If you haven't heard of it, you should definitely check it out. They have a minimum of 5 cars. Once you have 5 vehicles, they approve you. Boom, you can hit the ground running by basically starting renting your cars out to people directly rather than having to use Turo or Hire Car. And they will give you the protection for that. You know what I mean? And of course, you got to make sure you have a good rental car agreement that you and the renter get to sign. That's the document that shows that this renter got this vehicle from you and you actually allowed it. And if anything were to go wrong, like an accident, you're going to need that agreement to be able to submit a claim to get your vehicle paid out, right? So for me, I do weekly rentals. I don't do daily rentals. Some people like to do the whole daily stuff. I don't like that. I just do weekly, 1 week at a time. And I find that to be more passive. And I don't have to worry about cleaning the vehicle every 2 or 3 days when it returns. Once it's gone, it's gone. And you'd be surprised, guys. Most people that come and grab your vehicle, like right now for me, the minimum that I'm seeing is 2 weeks. Most people stay in my vehicles for a month, 2, 3, sometimes a year. just like I said, 2 years for one customer. So yeah, you'd be surprised.
All right, so what 80 cars, bro? Like how many people? Like what big is it? How big is the team?
A lot of people ask that question actually.
Right.
It's funny because the team is only 3 of us: me, my wife, and my brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
And does it get kind of hectic or?
Sometimes it can get a little hectic because things do happen, and when I've noticed once you start. After I hit about 50, that's when things starting to get a little crazy because now you have more cars and unfortunately more accidents start to happen.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And it's part of the game. You can't be afraid of that. If you are afraid of that, this is the wrong business for you. Because again, guys, you're giving cars to people, regular people that are just driving every day. They could be doing everything right. Somebody comes out of nowhere, hit them. Or they could be doing the wrong thing and they hit somebody. So,
right.
you know, it's part of the game, so you don't have to worry about that. You really just don't. And if it is a concern, this is not the business for you.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what's something you would tell yourself starting back out, like something that you didn't know that now you know that if you known it, it could have helped you out a little bit?
Oh man, like how people will try to use emotions to get to you.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. So like for example, you get customers that'll basically make you feel bad for asking for your money. They know their due date is this day. They know it. They've been doing it for X amount of time. Now they're starting to fall through hard times, or sometimes they just want to test you out to see if you're going to actually ask for your money or feel bad because you're somewhat cool. Now they can kind of get away with it. So
Right.
they use that. And I fell for that a lot because I'm one of those people that I feel bad for people.
Yeah.
You know,
Empath.
and you know, after you've been with me for X amount of time, I kind of feel like I owe you, which you don't. You don't.
Facts.
I learned that you really don't, because at the end of the day, business is business.
Business,
You gotta
they
have
pay for a service. They're not paying for just nothing. They're not giving you charity. They're giving it to you so you can give them something. It's a fair exchange.
There we go. There we go. So, you know, of course, you got to have some type of integrity, but at
Right.
the end of the day, you know, you're still taking care of them by giving them the vehicle that you give them for them to be able to use it for work and be able to feed their families.
Right.
So
and you
giving
said
them-
something very key. You said when they try to use, like they try to try you. They try to test
Oh,
you.
for sure.
Now, let me tell you. So you told me a story, and I go through this all the time with my renters, right? So you get the guys that when you go to repossess them, so you had an encounter. So we're going to talk about repossessions. But you had a repo, and you just so happened to run into him. It was like that person's birthday, right?
Yeah.
So that person pulled out a knot of cash
Yeah.
to say it wasn't about the money. And this is something that you see a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the fact that they don't have it. They just don't want to give it to you. They don't see the value in giving you the money for a car that you are giving them that has the right maintenance, has the right tires, and is doing what you purchased it for. And for some reason, when it's time for them to pay you, they feel like that's the last of their responsibilities. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, man. So just to touch on that, I actually had a customer straight up tell me, I have the money. It just hurts to pull out the money and pay you. I'm like, what do you mean it hurts? She's like, I don't want to. I want to hold on to my money. But I'm like, but you've got my car. So with you having my car, you got to pay me for it. She goes, I know I should pay you for it, but you know, it hurts to pay. So I want to hold on to every penny.
Wow.
Really? Okay.
Like we want to too. We want to hold on to our cars. We want to hold on to our money, but we have to pay for all of these things. Because I know you cover the maintenance too as well. Don't you
Absolutely.
do oil changes and
Yeah.
tires and stuff like that?
Yeah. So my system is you get weekly rentals. Okay. Weekly rentals, I take care of all the maintenance. And I include insurance as well. And that's like the biggest takeaway. Because like, for example, if you go to Enterprise or Hertz, they'll say it's $44 per day. That's
Right.
what gets you in the door.
Right.
Then when you get there, you're like, oh, 45, we good. Then when you get there and it's like, insurance is an extra 12 to 15 or even $25 per day.
Right.
Now your price went from 45 to 65 or 70
Right.
for this tiny bit of car. But for me, I tell them insurance is included and I have a set price.
Absolutely.
You know, I have a set price. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's talk about that set price thing, right? Do you charge celebrities more money when you give them a car or somebody from a certain stature? Do you, because you see who it is, do you change the prices?
No, I don't. My price is my price.
That's good.
So it all depends. Like, again, now, of course, I've got the luxury size as well. Right. Now, those vehicles, those are daily rentals. And there's a set price for those. Right. Now, prices for those do vary based on the day. So if it's the weekend, obviously, we got to charge a little bit more.
Right.
But if it's on a weekday, you want to drop it a little bit.
I always ask business owners about that because you said something about integrity, and that always says something about the person. If you're a person that charges differently based off of who you're talking to, that means that, you know, you're a person who's somewhat of a miser. Like, you're a person who is trying to take advantage. And you wouldn't like that if the shoe was on your other foot, because you got to understand that if a person is getting charged more by you because of that, 9 times out of 10, he's being charged more by everybody else. I deal with this on a daily basis. When I go to park somewhere, valet, and I'm in a certain car, it's $200 for me to park instead of the $20 it was for everybody else, or even the $10. I'm like, $200 for me to park this car. Then guess what they say when I say, nah, I'm good, you could just take it to the back. Well, we can't take that responsibility with this type of car. We'd rather put it up front. We really can't take it, right? This is crazy, bro. People really do that. Then you get into situations where I use my girl sometimes. Like I'll have my girl try to get a quote on a price for something because I know they're going to give her a fair price. But if they see it's me, even like a person who does like artwork, they do painting or do like construction in the house. If they see my house and then give me a quote, it's totally different than if they didn't see it. And the square footage is the same, the materials are the same, but the person is different. So you have good integrity by even saying that. So you gotta always kind of watch the people and how they deal with that. And if you work with people who do that charge based off of who they talking to a different price, you should probably understand that shouldn't be a partner of yours, because those people when they're gonna look out for themselves at the end of the day. In any deal, any circumstance, it's not going to be about having good business, good reputation. It's going to be about money for them. And anybody that moves for money is probably not going to be the best partner. So I'm glad that you said that. Yeah. And y'all should rock with my boy. He's very much serious. As you can see, he's an expert on his field. So let's talk about repossessions one more real quick before we get up out of here. So repos, as I know, it's a part of the game. It's something that you can't. It doesn't matter how good your system is, how many like trackers you got in your car. It doesn't matter how good your agreements are. It doesn't matter how nice of a person or your business is. You cannot avoid it. Even Hertz and Enterprise, they have to do repos as well. They do it in a different way. They might send a tow truck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They might report it stolen and get it back on the backside. But they're gonna get their cars back because people, decide when they rent a car for 1 day or 2 days as their car, and when it's time for them to come back and pay. They get lost. Their phone turn off, no service. T-Mobile said they not rocking with them no more. For some reason, you can't get a phone call with them. But somehow, when we repossessed the car, they got 5G LTE connection, 5 bars, and they can call you right away because we always got so many items in the car.
Oh, for sure.
So let's talk about repossessions and how you deal with them. And let's go from there.
Oh, yeah. So when it comes to repoing, man, first thing first, you want to always make sure you're safe. You got to make sure safety's got to come first, because at the end of the day, you still don't really know who you're dealing with. And people can get rowdy depending on how you catch them, especially if you pull up and they're with their boys, they might act up. Or if they're with their girl, it all depends on the situation. Things can go south. So I always tell people you got to make sure you're super safe about it. So like for me, most of the time, the way I do it is we will, first of all, we will turn off the vehicle, which is having a kill switch in the vehicle. That's another thing too. If you're doing this rental car business, you absolutely have to have GPS trackers. But the biggest thing is you got to have kill switches on the vehicle. And that way you can literally make sure the vehicle gets turned off, right? So when you turn off the vehicle, now the vehicle is not able to move anymore. And then do it late night, when everybody's asleep, or early in the morning while they still sleep. That's the time that I recommend to go do that. That way you don't have to worry about having any type of encounters, right? Or if you really want, if you got the right insurance, which Lula does provide roadside assistance, send a tow truck there. Send the tow truck to go grab the car. That way you really ain't got to worry about dealing with nobody. The tow truck going to pull up, do his job, snatch that car, and then when he grabs it, most of the time people will have stuff in the vehicle, and that's how you're able to get your key back for the people that are concerned about getting your second key.
Yeah, so that was my play for a long time. So normally a lot of people would ask me, like, yo, Mitch, how you dealing with cars in Miami? How you dealing with cars in Houston and stuff like that? I said, for me, it's not a big deal. I don't have to be there because I can just send a tow truck to go grab it. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with exotic vehicles, a lot of them have tow mode. So you can't just tow them with every type of, towing mechanism. You got to have the right one because it'll raise it up and it'll mess with the suspension. So for me to avoid that, a lot of times we have to have a certain type of snatch. The snatch where you can grab it, and just put it underneath,
just grab and
take it up out of there. So a lot of them, they just get taken, at least get to their impound lot, and then I can go break them off later. But I'll call a towing company real quick, send them all my information, let them know that my car is sitting somewhere, have it grabbed real fast. If somebody were to take my car out of town, because my car is not even allowed out of town based off of where they are. So like in Atlanta, you can't take my cars out of town. Now, if I see that it crosses that threshold, like I have like a geofence set up. Yeah. So if it goes past it, it chimes off, and I reach out to that person, and they don't answer or they lie. All I'm going to do is wait for that car to stop, kill switch it. I'm going to have a tow truck on the way there. I'm going to have it like if they stop at a gas station, that tow truck pulling up and then snatching it. But I try to avoid any type of thing that can endanger me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have any type of like meet up with the person, talk to them when it's time to repo.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, like you said, meet early in the morning, late at night, or once I can see. Because the cool thing about the trackers is you can see every stop where it goes.
Yeah.
You can know where I can already know where they stand at based off of where it's going the most and staying the longest.
Absolutely.
So if it cuts off here all the time and it's at this address, I know where that's his house. So once it goes there, I'll kill switch it there. They can't move it no more.
Yeah.
And then once I get my eyes on the vehicle, that's when I can make my decision how to move. Because once I got eyes on it, I can see if anybody's in it.
True.
So I don't have to worry about no confrontation. So if there's nobody there, go snatch that thing.
Snatch it.
I go get it. If it's somebody there, then I can go ahead. I can call a police officer and say, hey, look, I just found I have my eyes on the vehicle that was already stolen. It's located right here. I got my eyes on it. Nobody's there. Can you come around and assist me to get it? And you saying there's nobody there is going to make them come. Now, you say there's somebody there, they might take a little longer. They'll still come, but it might take a little longer for them to come out there. But if you say, yeah, there's nobody there, I just want to make sure that it's safe for me to go grab it, but I got everything, the registration, all that, they'll pull up and assist you with going to retrieve your vehicle, and then you don't got to worry about confrontation. Now, after you get the car repossessed, if he wasn't there and you pull off, and you got the items in the car, a lot of people be worried about retaliation. They be worrying about people being so mad at you for taking the car as if it's their car.
Yeah.
They'd be mad. They'd be worried about that. So a lot of my students worry about that, and I always just tell them, just meet in front of a police precinct the next day. Always give that person time to cool off.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to meet them that night. We don't need to be talking that night. I just took it from you. You still mad. You might do something crazy. I don't even gonna meet you at the police precinct then. I'm gonna wait till the next day. I'm gonna give them the address for the police annex where it's a lot of walk-by traffic in the middle of broad daylight. I'll get their stuff. They've cooled off. They're gonna give me my spare key back because that's key. You gotta have that spare key.
Yep. To get
in order for them to get their goods, I gotta get my spare key. We meet, give it to them. They go on about their day, holler at them, wipe my hands with that business, and I'm going. If I ever repossess my car, I don't know about you, but if I ever repossess my car from you, you can never get a car from me again. How you feel about that?
So I agree with that also, but I made an exception, and this just happened, maybe a month ago?
Okay.
I made an exception from, a customer of mine. They're older and
Okay.
stuff, and I know they don't mean no harm, but they definitely, every week you got to go try to get your money. So that's the one that actually did a repo, broad daylight. Me and a buddy of mine just went personally. I know these people, so I know there was nothing to be worried about. But again, that's not every case.
Right.
This one, I know it. That's why I had no problems going out there to grab the vehicle. Soon as I got there, soon as I started the vehicle, because I came with my second key, her nephew or grandkid was sitting in the front. He knows me, so he was like, "Oh, what you guys here for?" I'm like, "That car." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm about to go with my grandma real quick." I'm like, "Cool, do your thing." So we already had our second key. So we started the vehicle. Soon as we started up, I pulled off. Before I even made it down the block, she's calling me. "I'm so sorry, this and that, da da da." I'm gonna send the payment. Soon as she sent the payment, I turned back around. Now, most people would probably say, "Screw it, I'm not doing business with you." But I know her. She's been with me for quite some time, and it's kind of like an ongoing thing for the most part. But I'm about to, cut ties with that very soon.
I get it, and I understand. Like it can be situational. Like it can be an honest mistake. It can be rare occasions where I can be like, all right, I can see what's going on, but just don't do that with me. You have to take it so that even if you're gonna give it back, you have to take it so they know that you'll take it.
Facts.
Because if not, they will play with you every week.
Oh yeah.
I would rather not. Once they do it to me once, it's enough for me to know that they will do it, and I take it and I'm gone. Yeah. It's no more talk.
Yeah.
I had a dude. I'm gonna tell you a story. I had a dude, Rolls Royce Cullinan. Some of y'all seen this. They was tagging me. I let them live. They was tagging me. This dude, he rented my Rolls Royce, and he wanted to, act like it was his. I'm cool with that. But now what I'm not cool with is you standing all on my car.
Oh yeah.
With a woman on my car on the hood with you.
Oof.
Twerking, your feet on my Rolls Royce, 500,000. No sir ski. We repoed that shit in T-minus 20 seconds. But my problem is, this person calls and want to pay any type of money type thing after you repossess it, but we would never do business ever again. And then the thing a lot of people don't even know also is that all of us work together. All of the rental car agencies, especially in the A, we got a list. We put you on a list, it's up for you. It's up for you. Or it's just gonna be real hard for you to do it. You have to do it with somebody who probably do jinky business.
Yeah.
With all the reputable people, it's gonna be hard for you to get a car once you ruin that relationship. So that's why it's really important. And the same thing goes for us. Like if I do bad business, other rental agencies, they know we do bad business, and they gonna run with that.
Oh, for sure.
And you don't want that to be the situation to where customers are like, yo, these dudes do bad business, they do this, they do that. You always want to keep your face card clean and treat everybody fairly. Because just like if somebody come to me and ask me for the price of my car, and let's just say it's Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, how much is the Rolls Royce? The Rolls Royce price is the Rolls Royce price.
That's it.
But let's just say another person called and, and the price of the Rolls Royce is $1,000 instead of, the $2,200 that it is for a Cullinan. Imagine me charging a person that quote unquote is not famous or a celebrity only $1,000 and then charging Jamie Foxx $2,200.
Yeah,
that's not good business.
No.
So your reputation to be messed up. So we got to always be aware of that. Like you got to have integrity in everything you do. And if you're not, you're going to get that same energy all the way around. Hey. It's never going to be a good look. So anyways, I just want to make sure y'all hear some of these good, insightful things. As y'all can tell, my brother CEO Moe is definitely an expert at his field. He's been doing it for quite some time. I remember when he first started. And damn, to go from that to, how long did it take you to get 80 cars? From zero, or that's just, how long did it take you to get 50?
So basically, end of 2022, that's when I ended up with 44. Remember? Because I came to the New York Mastermind.
Okay.
I was at 44. So from then, it's just when it took off.
Okay, so let's just say from 0 to 44, it took a year?
From February of 2021 all the way till end of 2022, 44 cars. Okay. But I was not, okay, so here's the thing. I had different phases when I was in the business. Okay. You know what I mean? I had a phase of, at first it's like, okay, I started with 2 economies, actually 3. And then I went from that, then I went and financed a few cars. You know what I mean? I got into nicer cars, so I got the Q8, I got the i8, I got the Benz, I got the Porsche truck.
Gotcha.
So I went and got all those things. And then first prom year of 2021, crazy. Man, let me tell you about prom, bro.
Tell them about prom, bro.
Prom is a whole other thing. So if you're in the rental car business, or at least I should say in the luxury rental car business, prom should be your prime time to make some real money. That's when you can make some real money. So in 2021, I got a partner that I was working with. He's the one that actually had an agency. He still does. He has an agency in Detroit, a big agency with a lot of nice high-end cars. So at the time, I had my Q8, the i8, the Porsche Macan, and the E-Class Benz. So I took all those nice cars there, and we started doing business together. So during prom season, with all of our cars put together, we made some serious cash of 2021. And then while prom season was happening, again, accidents will happen. That's when I lost a few cars. Insurance paid it off, so we're good on that. But all the money that I made during prom season, that's what I used to start buying cash cars. That's when it really took off. Because at first, like I said, it was kind of like, okay, well, my car notes plus insurance every month was roughly about $7,200. Okay, I'm like, all right, I need to have enough economies to cover that because I know slow season is going to come, which is winter time. I need to be able to still pay these cars. So I'm like, okay, how many economies do I need to make $7,200 a month? Right. So when I did the math, I'm like, oh, okay, I just need that. So I bought that. Bought those cars, and now I got enough economies that's consistently gone, and they're paying for all these notes, even though those cars are still making money because it was in the summertime and prom season, right? Right. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to do $10,000 a month. How many cars do I need? So it just kind of went up from there. Gotcha. You know what I mean? So it's a numbers game.
So let's talk pricing structure though. So what are we charging per week?
So when I first started, I was charging $300 per week. Okay. But right now, up to date, my cheapest car goes for $385. So now my prices are $385 per week, and it goes up from there, depending on the vehicle. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So SUVs charge a little bit more, vans charge a little bit more, and the newer the vehicles are, the more you get to charge too.
Got you. Yeah. But you primarily caters towards Ford Fusions, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
You want to talk about why?
Yeah. So the reason why I like Ford Fusions is because parts are extremely cheap, and again, like mentioned earlier, the vehicles are super reliable. And specifically, I target like the Ford Fusion with the 2.5 liter. That's the non-turbo motor, because Ford Fusions comes with quite a few different engines, and there's only one that is a non-turbo motor, at least for the 2013s and up. and I focus buying that one because it's super cheap, right? Super cheap to fix. And again, the reason, what I mean by super cheap to fix, meaning most of the time when you're purchasing a vehicle, most people are thinking about worst case scenario is a bad engine or a bad transmission.
Right.
Now, so I try to focus on, before buying a vehicle, my research, comes with looking for how much the engine would cost or the transmission. And the Ford Fusions are pretty cheap. It's not expensive because the average vehicles, if you're looking at buying a used motor, you're looking at $1,000 and up. Most of the time, it's way more than that. But a Ford Fusion, the used motor is literally, I was actually just checking this morning because one of the vehicles that I bought from the auction that just arrived this morning, it may need a motor. And I was just checking, they're like $150.
Ooh.
You literally.
Spicy.
$150 and up, you know what I mean? So, if I'm able to get a motor for like $150 or even $200, and the labor is about $600 to $700, I can get this car back on the road for under $1,000 or tops $1,000.
Where are you getting these motors from?
So I use this website called carpart.com, car-part.com, okay? That's a website that basically every junkyard in the country lists their parts on there. So you can buy everything on there. Something as small as a light bulb, you can literally buy it off of there. So that's where I go to basically shop for, get prices on any car that I'm thinking about considering buying and adding to my fleet. That's where I go and just look for engine and transmission, how much it goes for, and then just have an idea if this is a car that I want to mess with or not.
Right.
Yeah. And body parts also, you want to look for body parts, and again, the Fusions, the body parts are not that expensive compared to other vehicles around that price range. So that's just why I really focus on those. And renters love it.
They do.
Yeah.
So why go out and get a fleet with this type of car, that type of car, that we can just get the same type of car, market it to the same type of customer.
Absolutely.
And they take it for the same amount of time.
And you get
That's
to save
all
some money.
we on.
And you get to save some money having
and you get to save some money. So you dealing with 80 cars you paid cash for. A lot of people got fleets where they go and take lines of credit, finance, and stuff like that. And you went straight cash. Now you're the complete owner of all of this.
Yeah.
You're getting a liquid $25,000 a month, no car notes. And if you were to sell all of these vehicles and if all these cars crash, you would get paid out because you're the owner of all the cars.
Yeah.
And you'll be walking away with a pretty penny. Let's just do the math, and let's just say we're using his rule of thumb. $3,000 per car times 80. What are we looking at?
So this number, and in the mix, there's some vehicles that I bought for $6,000. So
exactly. Yeah. So we just saw it on a low rule of thumb. Let's just go at 3,000 times 80. What are we looking at? 240K?
Wow. I didn't even know. But
240,000.
Yeah.
You can walk away with that cash, and you still have the knowledge, and you can go buy more if you want.
Oh, for sure. It took a lot of discipline, though. Because I'm able to build my fleet so fast. People say it's because what I did was every penny my business made, I put it right back in it.
I was about to say that. It was something that I had to hone in on. I heard you say that when you got the money and you was trying to prepare, you already had the money from prom season. You went and put all that money right back into your business. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. This is about being all in, being elite, doing one thing, the same thing, and making that one thing better. That's what he did. He found the value inside of this rental car game. He seen the economies were drawing a lot of income, and it was steady, and he put that money back in and made it even more steady by getting the bigger foundation. That's dope, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so since y'all been watching so long, I'm going to give y'all a gift. All right, cool. Everybody who DM me on Instagram at PushmanMitch, DM me the word peso. DM me the word peso. It's going to send you a link. You're going to be able to join my low ticket group. It's $99 a month. You get to look at mentorship replays. You get to have 50% off of masterminds, all of these cool things. But the other cool part is I'm going to give one of you guys who actually gets a spot from watching this episode, comment peso, get you a spot inside that Patreon group. And I'm going to give one of you guys $500. Hold me to it. And you know they be calling us cap. So that's what we got to know. But back to the episode. We're going to finish up with Moe. Moe, you are in a city like Detroit. We wouldn't consider that an A market in a rental car game, but yet you're doing very, very well. What advice do you have for people who are in any city around America? Like, what should they look for to know if they got a good market?
So I normally tell people, here's what you can do. Whatever car you're thinking about buying, you can just go somewhere on Facebook Marketplace. Make a post of the vehicle, obviously post pictures of it and saying that this vehicle is up for rent, insurance included, and put your price on there and then just watch your DMs flood. That's one way to test it out. And most of the people
Where'd you learn that from, bro? Where'd you learn it? And it really works. That's crazy.
Man. Yeah. That's like a golden thing, man. It's like literally you try that. I get people messaging me, oh my God, Mo, I got like 100 messages. I had to delete the post. I'm like, I know. So
Bro,
now you have an
Facebook
idea.
Marketplace is a beast.
Yeah.
We finding the cars, so that's what we find the Ford Fusions, right?
Yeah.
We finding them on Facebook Marketplace, and then we renting them on Facebook Marketplace. Bro, it's different. Like me and my girl had like, I got a ridiculous amount of clothes, like a ridiculous amount of stuff that we just need to give away. My girl always is using Facebook Marketplace. She'd be like, look, just put it on there. I'm gonna put the bags full of clothes. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'm gonna tell them pick it up for free. Got to take it off. We put that thing on Facebook Marketplace. T minus 30 seconds. They was pulled up and they took 8-9 bags of clothes.
Man.
Like this.
Yeah.
Cleared out that closet real quick. And we still don't got room. Ain't that crazy? But anyway, so that's, y'all use Facebook Marketplace, man. Look, we gave so many gems on this episode, but we didn't tell y'all the most special thing because I'm going to make my boy Mo teach y'all how to do this and not charge y'all a lot. So you told me you got a course.
Yeah, working on it, yes.
Okay, so he got a course. We're going to put that link right below here. I charge $1,500 for my course. Let's just get that out the way. I'm going to make Mo charge y'all at least below half of that. Like, can we do it for $400 for him just for this episode?
For your
we can
people,
make a link for them? $400. This man just told y'all he's making $25,000 a week. If you can get 1% of that, I just want y'all to not only comment 1% underneath this video, but go ahead and click that link and use these actual strategies that he's doing it. I'm supervising it, so I'm gonna make sure his course is teaching y'all everything that y'all need to know from like what he's doing. I got my way, he got his way. We combined them both, and we gonna both pour into that course and make sure y'all get all the information for just $400. And look, if they ever want to tap in with you and like, they want to, is there any like subscription thing they can do with you? Like stay tapped in, mentorship, anything like that?
Yeah. So I would be offering a subscription thing and a mentorship as well. So basically the subscription thing will just give y'all monthly calls, and you'll have access to me a lot. Like a lot
of access. Shit. Okay, cool. That's what we're gonna do. If you don't comment 1% under this, you can't even look at that link. We're gonna make sure we ask y'all that. Anybody who get that course, join his actual group. I'm gonna make you make a subscription group. You gotta have people like being able to tap in, constantly with you. So I'll say, just charge people like $20 a month. Let them just join a group where they can grow together. Yeah. Everybody can talk and build with each other and help everybody. Because that's the thing. A lot of people don't go home to the right environment. Yeah. So like they could take a course, but since they go home to people who don't believe in them or don't believe in what they're doing, they're not going to have much success. Yeah. Now, if you join a group of people that's all doing the same thing, that's like you came up in that environment.
Oh, for sure.
You was in the mentorship group, and a lot of you guys are still making money to this day. You, James, Charles, all of y'all are making high 6 and 7 figures. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, the success comes from you being around a group full of people with like-minded. Mm-hmm. And you are going to be able to say, hey, look, I made this mistake in a group, and then somebody says, oh yeah, just do this, because you're in a group full of people doing the same thing. Now, when you go home and tell moms, hey, mom, I did this, it's an accident going on, they're going to be like, I don't give a damn, I told you that shit was a scam in the first place. Yeah. So this is a situation where you're around people who are going to be like, look, just get Lula. This is the minimum. Oh, if not, you can use Aligns. If not, you don't want to use Aligns, you can make sure you get the other person's insurance and make sure it's transferable. You know all this information by being around a group full of people who do that. So tap in. Y'all comment 1% below. We're going to drop the link for Mo's course and his group underneath here. You need to sign up and make sure you take to the next level so you can be that next person making $25,000 a week. And this is No Fluff the Podcast, Pushman Miss CEO Mo. No chill. Follow him on Instagram. I'm dropping his Instagram below. And if you don't follow him, you a lame ass. No, we out, man. You already know what time it is, man. Peace. That was solid.